For as long as I could remember, my family called me the dumb one. Not as a joke. Not once or twice. Every single year of my life. My older sister, Emily, was the genius. She graduated at the top of her class and became a lawyer. My younger brother, Ryan, was a talented doctor. And me? I struggled in school. Numbers confused me. Tests terrified me. No matter how hard I tried, I never seemed good enough. At family dinners, my parents compared me to my siblings. "Why can't you be more like Emily?" my mother would ask. "Your brother works twice as hard as you," my father would add. Every word chipped away at my confidence. By the time I turned 22, I truly believed I was the family disappointment. While my siblings chased prestigious careers, I followed a different path. I loved baking. Creating cakes and pastries made me happy. When I announced that I wanted to open a small bakery, my parents laughed. A bakery? That was their reaction. My father actually shook his head. "You'll never make real money selling cupcakes." Even Emily smirked. I felt humiliated. But for the first time in my life, I ignored their opinions. Using my savings and a small loan, I rented a tiny storefront and opened Sophie's Sweet Corner. The first year was brutal. Some days only 2 or 3 customers came in. I worked 16-hour shifts and barely paid my bills. More than once, I considered giving up. Then something unexpected happened. One of my custom birthday cakes went viral online. Thousands of people shared photos of my designs. Orders started pouring in from everywhere. Soon I hired employees. Then I opened a second location. Then a third. Within 5 years, my bakery business had become one of the fastest-growing specialty dessert brands in the state. Yet my family still didn't take me seriously. Whenever we met, they talked about court cases, hospitals, and professional achievements. My business was treated like a hobby. I stopped trying to impress them. I focused on building the life I wanted. What I didn't know was that everything was about to change. One afternoon, I received a surprising phone call. A major international food corporation wanted to buy my company. At first, I thought it was a joke. But after months of meetings, negotiations, and legal reviews, the offer became real. Very real. The final purchase agreement was worth $47 million. I stared at the number so long I thought I was seeing it wrong. 47 million. The girl who couldn't pass algebra had built something valuable enough for a global company to acquire. When the deal officially closed, I sat alone in my office and cried. Not because of the money. Because for the first time, I felt proud of myself. A few weeks later, my parents hosted a large family gathering. Word about the sale had spread quickly. When I arrived, everyone suddenly wanted to talk to me. Relatives who had ignored me for years congratulated me. My parents acted differently too. Almost overly friendly. Then during dinner, my father stood up and raised his glass. I always knew Sophie would do something special. The room filled with applause. I nearly laughed. Always knew. This was the same man who called my dream foolish. The same mother who said baking wasn't a real career. For years, they had treated me like I wasn't intelligent enough to succeed. Now that money was involved, the story had changed. But I wasn't angry anymore. I was simply tired. After dinner, I asked my parents to join me outside. The evening air was quiet. My mother smiled nervously. "We're so proud of you." I looked at both of them and felt emotions I had carried for decades. "Do you know what hurt the most?" I asked. "It wasn't that you doubted my business." They looked confused. "It was that you made me doubt myself." Silence filled the space between us. I told them about the nights I cried after family dinners. The years I believed I wasn't smart. The countless times I felt invisible beside my siblings. Tears appeared in my mother's eyes. My father looked down at the ground. For once, neither of them had excuses. Only regret. "I'm sorry," my father finally whispered. Those words meant more than any amount of money ever could. The $47 million changed my financial future. But it wasn't the greatest victory. The greatest victory was realizing that my worth was never determined by grades, titles, or other people's opinions. I wasn't the dumb one. I never was. I was simply a young woman with a different talent. And when I finally believed in myself, I built a life bigger than anyone, including me, had ever imagined. That night, I drove home with tears in my eyes and peace in my heart. Because sometimes the most valuable thing you gain isn't wealth. It's finally seeing your own value after years of being told you had none. Red Heart.